Hey y'all, welcome back to the pod. It's your girl Day, and in today's episode, we're gonna be talking about the one and only Miss Cannabis, Miss Ganja, Miss Gassiana. We're gonna talk about her. And before I start this episode off, if you hear me manually breathing, just know that's exactly why I'm making the episode. If you know, you know. But yeah, I got a lot of questions. Like a lot of people slid up on my story when I posted about Snoop Dogg's little pranky prank when he was like saying he's going smokeless, and everybody was talking about weed and everybody was talking about cannabis, and you know how people need to stop and da 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 da. And it was this whole debate, right? And I had posted on my Instagram, and I had made a whole long paragraph. I wrote a long paragraph about it, talking about what's quote unquote healthier, what I don't know, and let people know that it's not harmful. It's just maybe sometimes the route of administration. Like it's just it doesn't have to do with the plant itself. 9 times out of 10 it has to do with how you're ingesting it, inhaling it, taking it in, whatever. And so when I made that statement, there was a lot of people on my Instagram like, wait, what are you talking about? What huh? And first of all, the only reason why I felt valid enough to go and make that post was because I had just finished a class called psychopharmacology. Shout out to Dr. Hayes. She taught us all about drugs, every single drug you can think of, besides like over-the-counter cough syrup and stuff like that. But she taught us about alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, opioids, psychedelics, you name it, we learned about it. And taking that class was kind of like a foundation for me to go off and do research, because I knew how to research based off of that class. That's why I love being in college, because it's really just it's just giving you the foundation to everything, you know what I'm saying? But that's another topic for another day. And so yeah, I've been doing my research on it since, she is my best friend or whatever. Me and Mary Jane go together real bad. But shout out to Dr. Hayes. That's all I can honestly say. And having those people slide up on my story definitely inspired me to make a episode about it, because I feel like it's information that's kind of needed nowadays, since marijuana is so normalized, or it's so popularized or whatever. I feel like spreading information about it could only help. And another thing I want to say is that I'm going to say safe or healthy, but understand that this, at the end of the day, is a drug. And not only is it a drug, but it affects everybody differently. So I'm speaking from my personal experience and what I've researched. I'm not saying that, my teacher promoted me to do any of this, but I'm doing this solely I'm speaking solely from experience. Please take what I say with a grain of salt. I am in no way, shape, or form a professional. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like if you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. I just had to say that disclaimer, because I'm not, girl, this is not my field of study. I've just done my research and it's basic research that you can do. Granted, the class definitely had a lot to do with it, but I'm mumbling at this point. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into our girl Mary Jane. That's what I'm gonna call her, because I don't want, let me drink some water. Hold on. A little ASMR for y'all. Bro, I'm so excited for the new mics. I just ordered new mics because I'm going to start having guests up on here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. They're going to sound so crispy. Y'all really finna get ASMR. Okay. So let's just understand what cannabis is, and how it affects our body. Like, what does our body do to it to have these effects, or to have any effect? So cannabis, otherwise known as Delta 9 THC, there's a long name for it that I just don't want to say or try to say, so we're just going to say Delta 9 THC. It could be Delta 8 THC, yada yada yada. It's a big scientific word for it, but we're just going to call it cannabis. Okay. There's different strands of it, there's different kinds of it, yada yada yada. It's a plant, comes from the earth, we know that. And that's why most people call it healthy, because it's not man-made, which, okay, you got me. Like, hey, I'm with you 100%. But the reason it has effects on our body is because we have receptors, cannabis receptors in our bodies. Now, I don't know if cannabis receptor is the technical name for it, but they're receptors that when you ingest or inhale marijuana, it connects to whichever receptor in your body. By the way, these receptors are all over your body. So this means that marijuana can affect every part of your body. Everything in your mind, down to your physical body. And that's why it's people are kind of on fence about, I guess, saying what effects to expect, because it affects everyone differently, which is something you have to be careful with, because you can think just because your brother over there smoking and you know what I'm saying, he went to sleep, you could smoke and be paranoid, you know what I'm saying, it could give you a headache, it could, so take note of that. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase myself. I have it in my notes. It's a cannabinoid receptor. Sorry, guys. Not cannabis receptor. Cannabinoid. In which those receptors are in charge of mood regulation, appetite, yada, yada, yada. So, hence why when you eat a little gummy, you're hungry. Or you're happy. Have you ever met someone who ingested cannabis and was grumpy? I've never met someone like that. Please let me know. Have you ever met someone who ingested cannabis and was just mad? I've never seen it. That would be very interesting if someone has seen it before, or even if that's you. That would be interesting. But yeah. So the next kind of point I want to hit is the whole healthy thing. It really has to do with your perspective on it and what you consider healthy. It's different for everyone, because it's different for everyone. So you can say it's healthy because it's prescribed for medical doctors actually prescribe, cannabis. It's legalized in a lot of states in the US. So it's safe. I guess you could say safe, but again, the effects of marijuana is different for everyone. So you never really know what's going to happen to you. And that's kind of the game you have to play. And that's why I think it's the FDA. They still classify it as a Schedule 1 drug, because you want to be safe. You don't want nobody tweaking, greening out. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, you cannot die from marijuana. There's no evidence. There's no record. There's nobody in this world has died from pure marijuana, or overdosed, anything on pure marijuana. I just want to put that out there. So that could also be categorized as healthy. You know what I'm saying? But then you have to look at the effects, because it can have some unpleasant effects. It can, if you do not have great power over your mind, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, it can affect how you think and your perception on things, and it can take a toll on you. That's why you have to build a relationship with it. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But I just want to say that because I'm kind of on the side where it's like, it's useful. It's useful. Healthy, I feel like when you say healthy, you're kind of like promoting it. But useful, it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to the mind when you say that. So, to me. Another point I want to hit are like the quote unquote safest ways to consume. And again, speaking from experience and just logical thinking, I would honestly say ingesting is probably the best, because the action of inhaling smoke into your lungs is gonna do damage regardless of what it is you're smoking, because there's smoke going in your lungs. Like, that's not healthy at all. So of course I would say eating it, but a lot of people say that they have like different effects when they eat it versus when they smoke it. So I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't have the answer for everything. I can just say that personally, little gummies or like eating it does give different effects, but I also don't mind a little like J, you know what I'm saying? And it's just because with smoking you can limit yourself and you can kind of pace yourself, but with edibles I feel like you just kind of have to ride it out. Like, when you smoke, you can hit the J once and be like, okay, I'm good, that's enough, you know, whatever. I'm about to go take care of my chores, I'm about to hit the gym, yada, yada, yada. But I feel like an edible, again, it depends on the milligrams and but I feel like they're just a little bit more powerful. Which is crazy, because when you eat it, your body actually breaks down more of it, so you feel less of the effect. Like, logically, or what is it, scientifically speaking, because your body breaks it down more, like breaks the actual because your body breaks down the actual THC down, because your body breaks down the THC more, like a greater percentage than inhaling it, it's supposed to, like, scientifically it's supposed to give lesser effects. But again, it's that whole mind high versus body high that people argue and say, well, I disagree, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, to each their own. I just want to put that out there so that people are aware, because we're all about being aware. Stink. And I also want to say that if you do smoke, please pay attention to the products you use. Again, in no way, shape, or form am I promoting it. Like, in no way, shape, or form am I saying, go do this. I'm just informing. But if you do smoke, please pay attention to what you smoke. Tobacco will do you so dirty. And it's more than just black lips and mucus in your throat. Like, it's your lungs, bro. And I'm pretty sure people who smoke tobacco are not cleansing their lungs with tea, mullein tea, ginger tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure they're not doing that. So your lungs, you have to clean your like, stand over a steaming bowl of water, hot showers, vapor showers. Like, doing those things will clean out your lungs, by the way. And I just want to throw that out there. Thumb backwards. Put them down. Put them down. Put them backwards down. Put the Fonto leaf. Put it down. Okay? Stop it. Stop the grabba. Stop it. Like, just stop trying to add to it. Like, you're doing too much. Okay? And yes, I am biased when it comes to tobacco, because I think tobacco is disgusting. I am a victim of it. I have tried backwood before. And how do y'all do? Oh, y'all poor bodies. Ooh. No, baby. I'm trying to sound my age. Okay? So now we're going to get into just having a healthy relationship with it, because I'm pretty sure that's what most people are interested in. It's like, okay, I have the desire, I have the interest, you know, maybe I have been smoking, maybe you're experienced with it, but you're like, I'm not sure if I have a healthy relationship with it. So I'm going to speak on both ends. I'm going to speak on if you're interested, and I'm going to speak on if you are trying to be aware of if you have, like, if you're trying to come to terms with if you have a good relationship with it or not. So if you've never tried it, again, I am not promoting it, but if you're thinking about it, try to, like, understand why. Is it because your friends are doing it? Is it because you're just kind of like, maybe you're on a spiritual journey and you understand the physiological effects of cannabis and how they can help you on your spiritual journey if you have great power over your mind. You see how that escalated? Like, and this is for smokers too, I guess, to check if you have a healthy relationship with it. But if you do not have great power over your mind, if you cannot, one, calm yourself down in any situation, and this is not even including cannabis, but if you cannot calm yourself down, if you cannot bring yourself down to earth, if you cannot, like, regulate your reactions to things, your relationship with weed is not going to be great, because marijuana is very, very strong in the thinking department. It just, like, some people say they can turn their brains off, whatever, okay, cool. But for me, I'm just a deep thinker, right? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is if your mind is not in a safe space, and if you can't bring yourself to a safe space when maybe you feel triggered by something, maybe you're not having the best day, whatever the case may be, for those who've never smoked, I would reconsider wanting to. And for those who do smoke, I would reconsider continuing to. Because I feel like marijuana will only just intensify the negative feelings. Even though you're going to be happy, like, it's going to bring some type of peace. But it's not going to bring true peace, because you're going to have to keep going back to marijuana to feel happy or content, fulfillment, whatever. And I feel like you need to know how to have that within yourself without anything. It is so important to be fulfilled in yourself and make yourself happy and have, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, baby, at that point, it's an addiction. At that point, it is substance abuse. At that point, it is no longer helpful. It's not helpful. It's just continuing. It's forcing you to be in a cycle of just, you know what I'm saying? We can get deep, but I don't want to get that deep. I just want to kind of scratch the surface of what you need to reconsider. So, but that, again, some people use it to eat more, which could be a health thing. Some people use it to sleep. So just look at the specific effects that you have and the thoughts that come to mind when maybe you indulge, or dude, just literally pay attention to how you perceive it. That will tell you a lot. And act on it. If it's not something you like, act on it. Like, and don't just be like, oh, like, for those who use it for just to feel fulfilled, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't find that within myself. I can't find that within myself. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Everything is a choice. And I want to talk about that too in a podcast episode. It's not going to be today, but I do want to talk about just changing your perspective on things and changing your behavior and being more disciplined within yourself. We're going to talk about that, but just don't lie to yourself. Okay? Don't lie to yourself. And I guess this is just for, like, this is not for non-smokers anymore. For those who are trying to figure out if you have a healthy relationship with it, do you have a healthy boundary? Do you have boundaries at all with it? Pay attention to what you do when you indulge. Pay attention if it takes you away from certain things, if it keeps you on track. Pay attention to these little things, because I remember that when I first started smoking, That's so weird to say into a microphone because I don't like talking about it. I just like to keep these things personal. But this is our safe space. This is our safe space. So we good. But when I first started, it was for entertainment, honestly. It was just for fun. And then it started to become a habit, and it wasn't a healthy one because I wasn't doing the things I needed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would just kind of be in my own room, watch movies all day, not do anything. Like, I was the stupid, lazy, unconcerned that Frank Ocean, Fran Mama was talking about. I was that. I was stupid, lazy, unconcerned. Like, sluggish, lazy, stupid, unconcerned. What'd she say? There's stupid, lazy, sluggish, whatever. But yeah, I was that. And for a long time I was like, bro, like, I did everything I needed to do. Like, what? We good. Like, but the only reason why I didn't like that is because I wanted to be functional. Like, I didn't want to just like rot in my room and watch movies all day or sleep all day. Or I wanted to be functional. I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to go grocery shopping, do my homework, yada yada yada. Yeah. But the truth is that my anxiety got in the way, and I was faced with my anxiety. Like, I literally had to debunk all the beliefs and everything I identified myself with when it came to my anxiety. And I just had to change. Like, I was like, you know what? Why am I scared to go to the gym? Like, I'm gonna be okay. Now, I be having the best workouts. Like, I just started to get up and do things. Like, I didn't want to just feed into that, like, stereotype. You know what I'm saying? Or that like, I didn't want that reputation. Like, and it wasn't even like a reputation thing. I just didn't want to feed into that category. You know, I wanted to be able to be productive. And in my eyes, that's what a healthy relationship looks like. That could be different for you. Maybe it's different for everyone. Maybe you want to start eating more. I don't know what reason, because I haven't really, again, I'm just speaking from my experience. But yeah, I feel like if you're questioning if you have a healthy relationship with it, you don't have a good relationship with it. And if you're just mindlessly smoking and not even thinking about how it's affecting you, I feel like you just have no relationship at all with it. So, I don't like that for you. Please change. And lastly, I just want to say that cannabis is just not an aesthetic. Cannabis is not cool or hip. It's like, just because it's becoming more normalized and popularized does not, like, I don't think we need to glorify smoking and, like, you know, like, I don't think we need to glorify the act of smoking. I think we need to glorify the effects that it brings to help people psychologically, to relieve pain, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the fact that people are just glorifying you smoking and just doing goofy, like, I don't want to sound like an angry millennial, because I love when people bond over, you know, good music that maybe you enjoy when you're a little ski. Like, I'm not hating on it. I just wish that people weren't so mindless when going into it, or mindless when indulging. Like, I don't know, because it affects you even if you're not aware. Like, even if you have no intentions on it affecting you mentally, like, that's what I'm saying. The effects of marijuana is real. it's real. It will affect everyone differently, and it will affect random parts of your body that you won't even peep until maybe ever. Like, just be aware, babe. Be aware. Be aware. And don't just do it because everybody else is doing it. Don't feel pressured. You know what I'm saying? This is just me spitting out information that I feel needs to be said, especially coming from someone young like me, because I feel like when the old heads talk about it, we're just like, eh. Or like when your parents tell you about it, you're like, eh, okay. But like, I'm here to say it's not the worst thing, but it's not always the best thing. So, but me on the other hand, real bad. And that's because I've taken 2 years to invest in and create a relationship with it. It's not just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm just very mind headstrong. I don't know. I'm very mindful of everything that I do, and especially when it's something that affects me mentally or just like me spiritually, whatever you want to call it. I take it seriously because my mind, my brain, like, girl, that thing is powerful. So, you know what I'm saying? You just don't want to be carelessly or unconsciously doing things just to, I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but yeah, that was my little 2 cents. Again, I'm no way, shape, or form a professional, a doctor, a psychiatrist. I'm still an undergrad, okay? Like, I don't have my degree yet. So, this is just me sharing information that I've learned in the class and what I've researched. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt. You might not agree with everything, and that's okay. I don't think everyone will. Like, I don't expect everyone to agree with me. But at least you heard me out. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you for listening to me. Shout out to Joshua, who DM'd me saying how much he likes the podcast episode. I really, really, really appreciate that. Just, that makes my heart so full to know that there are people out there listening and who enjoy listening and just want to hear what I gotta say. That makes me feel so special and so loved, and it's why I do it, because I want to connect with people. I want to. So, I love you, Pod Fam. I love you so, so big. I will see you guys next episode. Bye.